You're on.
Hello, I'm Kate, Conservation Assistant at Osterley House in Middlesex, and the film crew is my colleague Hajira. Today we want to just take you through how to clean rust off an 18th century steel fender. I'm in the library at Osterley where the damage occurred. It was caused by water dripping onto the fender from a flower arrangement on the mantelpiece above. First thing to remember is put on gloves, so you don't want greasy finger marks all over the fender. And sorry about the noise in the background. So what we've got here then is we're going to close up here. I've already cleaned up half the rust, so we're looking at the half that's left. It's quite bad, and for rust which is like this, you need to take slightly drastic action. We use 40 wire wools, the finest you can get. This is a pathetic example, but it's the best we've got. And in order so you don't get bits coming off the wire wool, which can form rust pockets in themselves, you use an abrasive cleaner. We use Peak, recommended by the National Trust, amongst other things. And you put a little bit of Peak onto the wire wool, like so. And then with minimal pressure, you apply the Peak and the wire wool, using the wire wool, to the area of rust. I'm not doing the whole thing now because we don't want this video to go on forever. So it doesn't take long actually, but I'm just going to show this bit so you can see how effective this is. And there's a bit there as well. Remember, when you use an abrasive of any sort, you're also taking off some of the surface of the material you're working on, which is why you do a minimal amount of rubbing and you don't push it hard. That is amazing how that's come up. You see that? It's completely disappeared. So when you've done that, when you've cleaned that bit of rust off, you need to wipe off the Peak with a clean cotton cloth, like this. And also it's very handy to have a wooden spill to get into those fiddly bits, like the grooves and things, just to make sure you've taken off all the residue, like that. And when you've done that, and that looks pretty good, so it's a huge improvement on what we had to start with, you will apply some Renaissance wax. It's a white solid wax, with another clean cloth. And then you'll also need to buff it so that you're taking off again any surface amounts that are remaining. When you've done that and you've got your fender back into good condition, you're going to look at the condition report, which tells you everything you need to know about this fender. It's very important that you add a note in that report so that we know in the future that this fender has been damaged, and we can just keep an eye on it. So when we do the annual condition reports, we check everything in the house. We'll just check to make sure that the area that had been rusted hasn't deteriorated any further, and we don't need to take any more action on it. That's the first thing to do. That's almost the last thing to do. More information, much more information, can be found in the National Trust Manual of Housekeeping. It's got a lot of detail about it, but in principle, that is what you have to do, and that does the job. So we're very pleased with that.